Hi, everybody. This is your friend Corey with Mighty Mushroom or a Mighty Mushroom. At the moment, I'm talking to
Ayla.
from
Hazel Hearts Vintage.
Woohoo! Your hair looks good tonight.
Thank you.
Michael. He's a lovely bastard. You're a lovely bastard.
You're a lovely bastard.
He is a lovely bastard.
We're live.
He seems so polite in person, too.
Not. Really not. It's all rude.
Hey, Lauren. Okay. So we're going to talk about, you went to an estate sale today. I went to an estate sale today.
Not really.
Oh, okay. I saw the picture of the line and you ranted.
I didn't even get in.
Oh, no. Well, I got into this one. So I'm going to tell this story. I just got back from Argentina. When was that? Yesterday at about 2. And had a crazy, there was a huge altercation with the neighbor and the guy who owns my building that I wasn't even a part of. Oh my God. I'll tell you that story too. So I had to go to instead of sleeping yesterday, I had to go to the office and try to track this dude down because, you don't want to build, enemies for no reason, but this guy was like way out of line. But I'll go into that later. So I get up this morning and just go directly to this estate sale. It doesn't start until 10, but I get there at 9, and the proprietress, I don't know, proprietress. Okay, the owner of the place. It was called a really weird place, Amadeus Manor Restaurant, and I've been here for almost 20 years, and I've never heard of it. Jacob, how you doing, buddy? I sent him an invitation. Anyway, we'll put the link in the chat here in a minute, but I'm going to tell a couple stories first before Krillin comes on and doesn't shut up. So.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I roll up, and there's just nothing. There's no sign. The doors, everything's shut. So there's a weird parking lot at the bottom, so I just kind of sit there in this. I'm there for like 5 minutes, and this dirty ass Mercedes rolls up, and this lady's like, this kind of like harebrained, weird ass lady gets out and starts mumbling and puffling around, and I'm like, "Are you here for the estate sale?" And she starts talking in like a thick German accent, and I'm like, "It's fucking weird." And so she's like, "Oh, this is my place. I own the place. You've never heard of my restaurant?" I'm like, "No, Amadeus Manor? Like, what the fuck? You fucking serious?" She's like, "Yes, I started it 27 years ago." It's like, no, that's like a name of a restaurant from like 1894.
I was going to say, it sounds like, a big deal restaurant like 100 years ago.
Oh, dude. I mean, this restaurant must have been a big deal. At some point, it had like multiple rooms, like banquet rooms, weddings. I mean, the kitchen was horrible. They had been cleaning it out and leaving food in there and stuff, and it was fucking disgusting. But okay, let's go back to the driveway rolls up, and there's like a little kind of foyer and a huge like Bavarian oak door. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar property. It's beautiful. It's just derelict. I mean, I wish she had just like figured out the people to sell it to or whatever. And I don't know if it's completely solid, but I would. This is a place that I would buy. But it was so grungy. Hey, Jacob. So I roll up. And I noticed there's some stuff outside in the back, some kitchen equipment out in the rain and stuff. It's a little bit weird. She walks in, she's like, "Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that." And all of a sudden, this cat, just like this fat ass cat, just rolls up out of nowhere. And I like squat down to tie my shoe, and this cat's like sitting in my lap. And she's like, "Yes, this cat, I feed this cat. I don't know where this cat lives. I just stays around here. I just feed it. There's a lady, she's gonna come get the cat. The cat hates everybody. Why is it like you?" It's something like that. Like, the cat hates everybody. It likes you. And this cat's like, I don't like fucking cats. I'm allergic to cats. Okay, it's not that I don't like cats. It was very cute, but I'm very allergic to cats. Okay, so go inside, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we had a sale a couple of weeks ago or whatever." I was like, "Is this the first sale?" Because it looked like pick through, and there was some stuff that had been with sold signs on it. So I'm like, "You guys advertise this as an estate sale starting now for this restaurant?" She's like, "Oh, we've been having it for like the last month for people we knew or whatever." It's like, well, could have said that. That would have been nice. Um, Everything was just like pretty much cleaned out. There wasn't a ton of stuff, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a few antiques, this and that. But I mean, low quality and old and lower quality, um, except for that pair of boots. And there was the place. I mean, she closed it like 6 years ago, and dude, there was like food in the kitchen. Like there were dirty pots in the sink.
I just looked it up because I wanted to see pictures of what you were talking about, and
Yeah.
they were still taking reservations like last year.
She said they've been closed for years.
So maybe like part of it was closed, and then like part because
Yeah.
their Facebook page was active as of like a month ago, and
Well, she
the
closed years
pictures are
ago.
gorgeous though.
According to her, she closed years ago. Maybe they did a banquet business and a restaurant. Maybe they closed the restaurant,
That sounds like it could be.
banquet business or something like that. So there was still wine in the back from like 2000. There was wine from like 2012 or whatever. But so there was a case and it was full of amazing. There was like a bottle of like Rothschild, like there was some amazing wine in this case. And I was like, everything's gone. The wine's still in this case. This lady's not going to do shit with it. And it was like weird. Like she didn't even want it. She was trying to have a sale to sell stuff, but she did not want to talk to me about that wine. And I was like, you don't want this, do you? And she's like, there's some good bottles in there. I don't have the key to the cabinet. Well, I was like, yeah, what? Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And she just rambled and babbled the entire time. Just walked around, rambled and babbled, rambled and babbled, rambled and babbled, and like,
Where did you find the estate sale?
it was on it's on estatesales.net, estate sale finder. It's all the way at the
That
bottom. It's homeowner or whatever.
homeowner. That can sometimes be, a good hit, but
There
or
was some amazing, amazing like banquet wear and stuff that had already been sold. It was still there, but it had sold signs on it. I'm like, what the fuck, dudes? So,
still
so I was like, she was like, no, I'm never gonna do anything with this wine. I'm like, well, I will find like, I will give you
I will buy it.
I will give you $300 for the wine in the case, and I'll find somebody who will actually enjoy it. Like it's kind
I
of
mean,
like there's
Rothschild. That's a
dude,
that's
there
a
were some cuvées, like there was some really, really nice champagnes from the 80s. It's still good. Definitely still good. It was all kept on these like little like rockers and stuff so that the corks were maintained properly, So should be inside of a case. And it obviously had been inside of that case since the fucking 80s. No, for real. So she's like, no, I don't. I was like, if I can get it open, will you sell it to me? She's like, well, I have to bust the glass. And I was like, I'll just get a locksmith to open it. And she just like, the logic of that wouldn't make, like, she didn't say no, but she said that we couldn't get it open.
It sounds like a nightmare trapped in an estate sale.
Dude, it wasn't a nightmare because it's a really cool. It had a really cool view, but it smelled like ass because there was like rotten food in there.
Did you get a can of that ass spray? Was it the juices got loose?
Dude, it was like Liquid Amadeus restaurant. You should go over there just to check out. It is weird as fuck. Okay, it's really weird, like weirder than weird.
What are
There's a
some things
huge bird cage in there, really rare, really expensive. She wanted $500 for it. It's probably worth a couple grand, definitely. It's a bronze. It's a bronze parrot cage from the probably like early 1800s, like turn of the 1700s.
Damn.
Yeah, really, really sick piece. Huge though. And then some big copperware and stuff, like some really old copperware. But the boots were just like with some there was some shoes and stuff, and they were just with some shoes, and it's like, dude, these are like the mark of the queen is on the inside of them. I didn't show you there was a pair of Peel boots in there. I don't know if you're familiar with Peel.
I'm not.
Oh, do you want to here? I'm just gonna screenshot this for fun. For fun and the sun. Oh shit. Also,
Kayla,
let's talk
are you
about
familiar?
what's up?
I was asking if Kayla was familiar.
I'm not. I mean, I saw the pictures that he sent earlier, but I've never heard of it before. Not my wheelhouse, typically.
You haven't already private eyed it?
The
private eye and
they make all
deduced.
they used to make all the shoes for the royal family. The British royal
You're
family.
preoccupied, I see.
That's a humor.
That's a good look.
I'm too sexy for my something.
I don't have a
My
hat.
brain is
So
actually a double D.
My brain is a double D.
this is like a 34B, so not in this lifetime, but I am selling it.
That must be a fisheye lens. Bro, looks huge.
Bruh, that's a bruh.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
You sound
Are you
awful.
still sick? See, dude, when I asked you to go to the office the other day, I didn't realize that you were sick. I didn't know that you were sick.
No, it's okay. Like, if something needed to be handled that I could actually do, you know. As you know, there's not really anything that could be done about it. It's just crazy guy wandering.
No, it wasn't. There was something that could be done about it, and there's something that was done about it by my neighbor, Michael, who went down there and fixed the situation. So, that was definitely something that could be done.
Oh, your neighbor did?
Yep. It was kind of a big miscommunication.
Okay.
The guy who owns my building basically told him to go fuck himself. and he kind of thought it was me. And yeah. It's a little crazy.
Wait, so the strange guy was the guy that owns the building?
No, it was the guy who he owns the building next door. He actually does own it. And he's not just like some crazy asshole, but I mean, he is a crazy asshole in a certain way because of what he did. But I mean, the reason he did it is because he was inflamed, and I see why. I was thinking to myself, like, okay, like this guy didn't do these specific things, and actually, all of them he did do. He left a note for me. He called me many times. He left many messages, and no one told him that I was gone. And can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Can you see these Peel and Company HP Yales? Do you see this? Do you see these Peel boots? See what somebody's asking for these? What?
What about solds?
Yeah, show us them souls.
Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna really be any solds. They're so rare.
Well, that's going to be a problem for me.
Exactly. No, that is gonna be. So they're these. They're almost this exact same model. These guys are asking. They have the so the top, these these chucks. You screw this down and it tightens and holds the boot form. But they're personalized to the person who bought the boots, so it's pretty cool. We'll see if these show them. No, they peeled the provenance off of them on these.
What did you give for the pair that you picked up?
Oh, these are way later than mine. Way later. Mine are early. And I mean, they could be. What did I pay? I paid $50. They were asking $175. Everything was overpriced and garbage in there. Okay, so I was like, I'll give you $50 for them, just because they were cool. They were cool boots.
And did you kind of have a previous awareness of the value?
No, I had a previous awareness. I've never heard of Peel boots before today.
Got you.
The
grab.
I just saw the quality and the age and how preserved they were for the age. Look, these are in the Met Museum. These are in the the Metropolitan Museum of Art. What the? Whoa! Oh, yeah, like they're like these. So these are from the 1930s. That's what I thought that they were from the 1920s or 1930s. Gift of Ambassador John Loeb Jr.
So how are you going to go about like getting information and pricing and selling these?
I'm gonna measure them and put a shitty description and see if somebody buys them. I mean, honestly, that's what I do. That's what I
You're
do
like,
for a
that's how I
living.
sell all my stuff.
Have you seen, dude? My average sale price, I've got almost up to $55.
We are like the complete opposite. Because to my detriment, I would probably spend 6 months researching it, then never list it, and then finally dig it out of a death pile and sell it for like $1,000.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Peel Shoe Company. So the Peel Shoe Company made they don't make shoes anymore. They were like master shoemakers. I'm trying to find Peel Shoe Company history. They started sometime in the 1700s, but if you didn't know, like shoes were all the same foot until sometime in the late 1700s, I believe.
They were all the same foot.
Didn't we talk about this like
Yeah, like, Jacob, can you look that up?
I disagree.
When did left foot and right foot separate?
I think we've had this discussion before.
We totally have. Okay. The Peel and Company. Okay, where is this? I wanted to read it. Peel and Company was founded in 1565 and were the oldest established and most successful makers in the world, employing up to 200 staff. The firm was established in Durham and moved to Derby in 1765, reaching London in 1791. Wow, that's fucking cool. Bartley and Son inheriting their boot and fox elm. Okay, cool. If it's before, I can. Okay, interesting. Wow, crazy. It totally says on the inside, like, shoemakers to the queen or whatever. Maybe it says royal family. I don't know.
Good job.
You don't tell me. I decided he was a good job.
You did a good job.
I'm about to be doing a really bad job because I don't know where the charger for my computer is.
Well, those are inexpensive. So.
Well, they're expensive in the fact that if I don't pull one out here momentarily, my computer is going to die. Just having one of those days. One of those.
Jalen, I will.
I got it. Okay. All right. Here we go.
That's a whole bottle.
What? Whole bottle of what? What are you guys drinking?
Oh, I got you cider. Nice.
I'm gonna try to stop drinking alcohol for a while.
Boo.
I know I'm not as interesting when I'm not drunk, but whatever.
You just lost 50% of your subscribers.
Well, only 4 people are watching now. Okay, so those were cool. Yeah, the Peel and Company. Peel and Company, really weird. So I just figured they had some value, and if if I can get $400 or $500 for them, that'd be pretty awesome. I'm not like Jacob. I actually sell things.
I would put them up for $8,000.
And then 36 years from now, he'd still have them. He'd get an offer for like $24,000, and he'd be like, "Nope, I'm sticking with it."
Nope, doing it. I'm gonna put them.
Know me. You actually.
I'm gonna offer,
and I like.
I'm gonna offer them to a Japanese customer of mine who, he gets top dollar. He can probably get $2,000 for those boots. They need to be. There's some work that needs to be done to them. And like 1930s, 20s, 30s, 40s workwear. That's what it fits into that category. So. They were I mean, they look like riding boots, but I don't know if they are because they don't have a place to put stirrups. I mean, what do you call those things? Uh, spurs. There's no spur slots on them, but maybe they didn't have spur slots on them that early. You know, maybe the spurs strapped around it some way or something. But there's no marks from any sort of spurs. And you know, so I think they might be ladies' hunting boots, which would be very peculiar. Like that would be like, what's up?
I said that's a value add. Peculiar.
Very curious. Very, very curious. Did you go to any sales today, Jacob?
No. I packed up a few things and died a little bit more, and then I
just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I should have walked away. I should have walked away.
So I got some stuff packaged. That was my daily feat. Today I got some things packaged.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's the best you can do.
I mean, I was gone for a while, so I have a bunch of package. I've got almost everything that sold while I was gone packed yesterday and today. We have like 6 more items. Today I was just like, I'm fucking done. Then I was like, oh, I'll just go. Since I fired my main lister, I'll just go list some stuff.
Did you forget how?
That didn't fucking happen.
Yeah. How do I list things?
Shit, I needed her.
I don't know, really. Actually, I needed to get rid of her, honestly.
Listers, dime a dozen.
They're hard. I've got a solid one. I'm trying a new experiment. Trying a slightly new experiment, and we'll see if it works. Yeah. I don't know. It's like an employee is so expensive, and like you have to like manage employees. Like I want somebody who manages themselves.
Talk to Nicole about that.
Fuck. Talk to Nicole about that. Why?
Well, it seems like she's done pretty well. I mean, you know, Erica tells me about what's happening over there a little bit, and I mean, Erica's, you know, she's really self-managed, but it also seems like her other employees they have a handle on things.
No, John, my actual like, he's gonna go from from contractor status to employee status on Tuesday, and he'll start working 30 hours a week.
Wow, so you're gonna put him on? Are you starting a payroll then? Or are you gonna
Yeah
tax?
Yeah, I gotta do all that stupid shit. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Really, what I want to do is be like, dude, like, you know, what would you pay in tax? Like, if somebody paid you $15 an hour, you're gonna pay it in tax anyway. I'm gonna pay you $15, and I'm gonna help you get every tax deduction you can, and I'm gonna let you make your own schedule. But I'm gonna expect you to be here. That's like what I really want to do. That way, it's like I don't have to take liability. Like he knows. I don't have to teach him how to do anything. He's been working in e-commerce for like fucking 25 years almost. I mean, for the length of the internet, he's always worked doing like some kind of fulfillment or shipping or something. We worked together for like 4 or 5 years.
And he was doing your packages while you were away, right?
He kind of got pissed at me because his computer wouldn't. It was my fault, kind of, but there was some kind of printer glitch where it says it's out of toner, but it's not. But on my computer, it just prints anyway. But apparently on his, it wasn't printing, and I'm like, dude, I just bought new toner. There's like some kind of glitch. So today I ordered I have 2 thermal printers, but I cannot seem to get them to, no matter what I do, they always print out of format. It doesn't matter. They're the brother ones. Maybe they're.
Printers are the devil's playground.
I got a Rollo today. I just ordered a fucking Rollo, and I'm done. I don't like the reels. That's the problem most of the time. And
Why? I'm just curious.
I just it prints fast. It flips over and clips onto itself. I don't like that it's not wireless, but I don't care about wireless anyway. I like the design, and I don't like the design of the other ones. I hate those fucking rolls.
Do you do bulk shipping?
Yeah, with scan
Okay.
sheets and all
See,
that
I
shit.
can see why that would make a difference then. I don't do bulk shipping. I just print them one at a time.
Oh God. Well, I mean, okay, so I get like 8 to 15 orders a day right now, and it's like, dude, like cutting shit out, or I mean, you can use the UPS 1x1s. They do work.
Oh, I have a Dymo printer.
Or 1x2s. Oh, you have a Dymo printer.
Yeah, I have a printer, but I did the bulk shipping for a while, and I was having issues with packages not going to the right label. Like I was just having trouble keeping track of what.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what you do is you print the when you so this is what I do when I print out the I do it in this is how, so you do one batch. So you can click what you want to print. The first time you print out the packing slips, and you print out the order list. It's like you print out a page that's the order list. So
it
you
shows
print
like
the
the customer name and the item name, right?
The customer name and the item name, and the description. It shows the description of the item, the customer, the item number, that kind of stuff. You print out that sheet, and you print out the invoices, and then you can match them together. And what I do is I'll go through and sign every invoice, and then I just write a little note on the outside of the package because I'm all space brained. I just automatically seal the packages sometimes. I totally tried to stop myself from doing that, and I just always do it. So I just write a little note on the outside about what it is, and then I pack all those, and then you print the shipping labels from your thermal. And obviously, like I use a scan sheet. I use scan sheets.
It's a hard time for me to do the scan sheet because I have 2 eBay stores, Poshmark, Instagram, Depop. I mean, name all the other shit.
I mean, the scan sheet doesn't slow anything down.
But I'd need multiple.
If you're shipping less than 3, what?
I would need multiple scan sheets, though, wouldn't I? Because I'm not all.
I have multiple scan sheets all the time. Today I did 2 or 3, so I'll do a whole batch. Like, okay, the first scan sheet I'll do is for first class. So I'll do all the first class stuff and put that on one scan sheet, and then I'll do all the priority stuff and put that on one scan sheet, and then I'll do all the FedEx stuff and put that on one scan sheet because you can't. eBay is very difficult to print like FedEx and UPS at the same time. So sometimes I'll have 3 scan sheets, but a lot like if that's for a lot of orders, like the 50 orders that I have to deal with. But normally, I'll just put the postal service stuff on a scan sheet because like I would say 80 to 85% of my stuff goes out postal service.
I guess I'm not sure if I can do a scan sheet from like Poshmark. Like,
oh, I don't know about Poshmark. I'm only talking about eBay.
Yeah, I think I've
never sold
eBay, but since I have multiple places I'm getting orders from, I need to go into the post office and have them scan my packages anyway. So I'm afraid of going in with like, let's say 20 packages, 10 of which are eBay. They'll scan my scan sheet, but then they wouldn't scan the other 10 packages from other platforms.
You can just get them to scan those, though. You can scan the scan sheet and then scan the other ones, but then you'll save your time by them not having to scan all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, on the other platforms, do you still have the same kind of?
I'm not saying that you should print. Maybe scan sheets don't work for you. I'm just saying, like, you can print the beyond the scan sheet. Like, you can print the invoices and
that I think is helpful.
the
And no,
invoice.
I don't have the same volume elsewhere. Although today Poshmark blew the fuck up and eBay died on the vine. So I think I made like $25 on eBay today.
Ooh, somebody bought 2 pairs of Ferragamo shoes for me for $80 each, and I paid
Nice.
$3 a piece for them.
You're
That
sick.
was pretty sick.
I did like $200 on Poshmark today, which is and only 4 transactions,
That's
which
great.
is fantastic.
Yeah,
But
that is
eBay
good.
just I didn't get a sale on eBay until like 9 o'clock.
So I sold $177.99 today on eBay, which is not good for me.
I think I did like 100-ish.
Yeah,
But
what's with eBay?
Mediocre day. I've had like
When-
350 days the rest of the week though.
Me too. I've had a really, really good eBay week, and I have been listing my ass off.
I've been
I
sick.
did $605.99 on Monday.
Hey,
With like a 700-day handling time, right?
Well, Monday would be that would still be having because I'll turn it down 1 day each day, so that'd be having like 4-day handling time or 3-day handling time.
have you guys had to eat any cost on the like Smart Post or priority shipping that's calculated?
I have not. I have very, very small amount of items that have Smart Post enabled on them.
Gotcha.
For the most part, I do that as a secondary option. I always put priority as like the first option for a buyer, and then they can choose Smart Post if they want to. But I don't ever offer that as like the only.
Gotcha.
I don't charge
typically
for
put it as first. I put Smart Post first on like medium weight, heavier stuff to compete for shipping costs, and then I offer like FedEx and priority.
So wait. So did something happen with like?
Yeah. So after the the recent shipping changeover that happened when the prices went up, there was
Like
the
2
error
weeks
with
ago.
with the international shipping. Well, there's also an error that happened, and I'm sure other resellers already addressed it, but the calculated shipping for Smart Post, FedEx, and Priority were all inaccurate. So eBay calculated it, charged the buyer a price, and then the calculated when you go to print it is more.
Like by quite a bit, if I remember correctly.
On like one of my things, it was $6 more. And
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
like, how did they not charge them? Like, how is there such a gap? On something else, like, it was pretty close. It was like 90 cents off, but I called them and they gave me a credit. So it's all good.
Did they give
but,
you a
like,
pat on the bum?
yeah, exactly.
It's all good, but if it happened with a dozen shipments or whatever, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
actually need to call them back because there was like a $3 gap on something I shipped yesterday. But
It's weird. Yeah, I don't charge for shipping.
yeah, I know. I knew you don't.
No,
It's
I wonder
kinda-
if I got fucked by them though, because I paid for
right, you had to pay
Yeah,
a little
you still pay. I mean, it
Still
still
paid
should have
for
been built
shipping.
in.
So that's the thing that's tricky because on certain items, right, you're having to price 10-20% above the market because you're covering shipping, and then on some other things it's almost double, or more. So how do you always I mean, obviously you're taking risk when you do that sometimes because you get an offer, right? So you're just like, okay, well, I'm getting this offer at $30, but the shipping's going to be 15. So
I look at where they are and I just say no if they're not close and it weighs a lot or whatever. And also my price, if you'll notice, you've already noticed this, my prices are higher than the average.
right.
So I'm already like 20, sometimes 25% above market.
Have you always done free shipping, or did you get into it later?
I got drunk with this dude from eBay who was in the shipping department. He's like, and he was all drunk, and he was like, dude, like there's all kinds of math and shit on the website. It will favor you I'm not supposed to tell anybody any of this shit, but like, if you offer free shipping, it favors you. Like, hands down, free shipping is the biggest factor in whether, your item is presented to the customer based on almost any other factor is free shipping.
I've been a fool and neglecting that switchover, and I know that it will increase my profits probably 10 to 20% or 10 to 15%.
I would say like 15 initially, but what happens is you get these crazy volume spikes, and like, obviously, like, managing returns is a pain in the ass, but like, there's certain things you don't necessarily have to take returns. You can offer free shipping and not accept
See, that's
returns.
why I've been contemplating doing free shipping, because I don't take returns, so my risk is pretty low.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, I have very infrequent returns as it is, so I could probably do free shipping. I just like knowing that any offer I take, I don't have to worry about it including or not including the shipping. Like, I don't have to do any extra math. As easy as it may be, I can just say, like, okay, do I want to take this on the item? I know shipping is already covered.
If it's less than a pound,
yeah.
I don't like to have multiple active shipping policies, because I really like I could have multiple stores that have different business models. That's what I like about eBay. Like, this store, the main, like, Mighty Mushroom store that anybody can check out or whatever. The business model is a free shipping, 1-day handling time business model, and what I'm trying to do is shift that to free shipping same day. Then we can build possibly a second store that's items that require shipping. So it'd be like two different product flows. Like, I'm really into like managing product flow. You've seen how I kind of do things.
Yeah, like, I just don't get the hard goods and free shipping.
It works. It totally works. It does. If it's over 2 pounds is when you start getting into trouble, and Jacob can probably like understand. You're like, oh my god,
Right.
don't go over 2 pounds. Oh my god, don't go over 2.
You're trying to fit it into a regional A box or a medium flat rate or a flat rate envelope. You're like,
well, I think especially because we live on a coast. So, God forbid someone from New Jersey orders something, you're like, oh, fuck.
It's okay, though, because if it fits into a padded flat rate, so you might have shipped it not in a padded flat rate if it was going on the West Coast, but it's going across the country and it fits into a legal or a padded flat rate.
I mean, padded flat rate's cheaper now after the rate changes, even to, like, if I was to ship something to you guys, it's cheaper for me to ship a pound or 2 pounds padded flat rate than it is for me to ship regular priority.
Yeah.
I shipped something to Nicole today that was 2 pounds, and it cost me, I couldn't put it in a padded flat rate. It cost me $7.10.
Yeah.
So now the way that they've upped the rates and changed the rates, that $6.90 for a padded flat rate is like that perfect price. It's like the cheapest you can ship something, pretty much, priority.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I try to. I more try to like have. I'm trying to get to a specific average price. I know what I pay for things. I know where I manually try
that's
to.
Another part of it too, is your average sale price. Like, when I'm thinking of taking free shipping on something or doing free shipping, I'm talking like a $20, $30 item. Typically, I sell some things lower than that, but I think my average sale price is $25.
Well, you need to include the shipping cost in that.
Yeah, no, I know that. But there's people then that want to take off, they want more of a discount.
Right.
This is if you leave best offer on. Obviously, if you take off best offer, that eliminates this issue. Like, I was watching the Posh Hanger, who does strictly clothing and shoes, and she recently changed her business model to free shipping but no best offer. And she's trying to get to like a $40 to $60 ASP.
I just price up a little bit, allow best offer. So I have free shipping and best offer. If somebody offers half and it's not profitable, I just decline it. But if it's profitable and it's half, I'll usually accept it because I want to get that money back into circulation. Let's say there's a $6. I paid $6 for a pair of Ferragamo loafers. I've got them listed for $225, and somebody offers me $99.99 for them. I'm probably just going to take that offer, take that money, and reinvest it. You know, I can do more with the 99 than I could do waiting, you know, maybe possibly 3 months for another buyer to come around or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm very like I'm very bullish in that fashion. I really like to make the money flow. I like
It's
to
just
make
hard when it feels like every item sometimes needs to be like considered. Like, what did you pay for it? What's the going rate for it? You know, like let's just say those Ferragamo shoes, the sold listings are regularly $220. There's
Mhm.
never been a $99 sale on them. Like,
Uh-huh.
this is what I would be thinking is I'd be like, well, do I want to be the first one to take the $99 when I could just I don't know. Sometimes I do. Today, I'd take an offer on damn near anything in my store.
Exactly. No, I
something.
follow that same. If I'm at like 600 and you offer me $100 for a $300 pair of Ferragamo shoes, I'm gonna tell you to go, you know,
Yeah.
pound the pavement. But if it's like 10:30 and I have $72 in sales,
Yeah,
I'm taking it,
exactly.
and I'm running.
Which is why I
Not
need
looking
to
back.
evaluate like every sale that I get
Yeah,
because
I mean that's what we do. That's our job.
so that I can't just I feel like maybe that's a little bit like control freak needing to like analyze every single offer that comes in, and it's probably not beneficial in the long term of like the productivity of my business, but that is where it's at right now.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
hampered that much. I think
My
it's
average.
every
Oh,
offer.
sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's fine. I mean, I definitely consider every offer, and you know, if it's something that is you can get it anywhere at any time at a certain price, then if someone's giving you an offer that's maybe a little below that, you should take it. But
Totally.
if it's scarce, if it's particularly rare, I have a tendency to wait out a little bit on stuff like that. Like someone offered me $80 for this like Japanese World War II phone that would have been on like a ship, and I paid 25 for it. I have it up for 200. The comps are around 150 to 200, and I tried to get them up to 125. They wouldn't do it. So, but it has like 7 watchers, and I listed it 6 days ago. So,
See me, I would have just said, "Cool,
$80.
No, I would have waited too.
dude." I mean, but it gets. I have like really awesome feedback, and it's because I just roll with it. I'm like, let's do this thing.
I
Let's
don't care about
let's do it.
I mean, I have
Everybody
really
cares
awesome
about
feedback too, but it's just those people were willing to pay a little extra.
Yeah, I'm not hurting for feedback. I saw some post on eBay on one of the eBay Facebook groups the other day, and this lady was like, "We really should make a post to eBay and let them know that we need to find a way to demand that buyers leave feedback." And I'm like, "No, can we not?"
Yeah,
Like,
can we have like no feedback whatsoever?
no, because no news is good news.
I
Oh my
actually
God.
I had a brilliant idea. If a buyer does not leave feedback within 30 days, you automatically get a positive feedback. They bought it, they didn't have a complaint, you automatically get positive feedback.
There should be like a generic positive. Like it doesn't have to say anything. It should just be a positive and blank or something.
Yeah.
Because why not?
That's why not.
Yeah, I mean it's so they don't. I agree that they allow random buyer psychology to dominate like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Social proof space, and it's very primitive. Their social proof space is very very primitive, and people can leave you negative feedback for no fucking reason. So this was my suggestion, and I actually I talked to one of the people who is in like seller standards and one of the other departments that has to do with this, and we talked about it for a while. And it's an arbitrage system where let's say you have a store, okay? You have a store and somebody's pissed, and you're like, let's not make this public. Let's figure it out. So they're pissed. You solve it. They're still pissed till they leave you negative feedback. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes into arbitrage. Now you have a store. This doesn't work for anybody else unless you have a store. It goes into arbitrage, and eBay says, you need to talk to us about this. You have 48 hours to talk to us about what's happening here so that we can build a resolution, right? Because they should be involved in every negative feedback event because it helps them grow their platform. It helps them understand fraud. It helps them understand what customers want, what pisses customers off, what makes customers happy, that kind of thing. So they have direct involvement in every negative feedback for store sellers. And it could be partially automated. It could, they could use AI or whatever. Then you get to solve it because there has to be a solution. This is business, okay? You get to solve it. And if the person's unreasonable, there should be expectations of what's reasonable from the seller and what's reasonable from the buyer. And before it goes live, you should be able to, work it out. Some people will just leave negative feedback for no fucking reason whatsoever. And your competition can do that and pretend that there's somebody else, So it's not really fair. So you solve the arbitrage and it goes away. Just goes away. But yeah, they should have some kind of defense system there, definitely.
They do a little bit, but not to the extent.
No, they don't have any. If customer leaves negative feedback, it goes directly onto your board.
Yeah, but you can.
Kayla got one that was from a happy buyer the other day.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't hear about that. What?
So I shipped these, I don't even remember what it was, a shirt to a lady, and the feedback said, I love it, thanks. And it was a negative. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, I think maybe this was left by accident. If it wasn't and there was something wrong, please let me know. How can I fix it? If it was and you'd like to adjust it, I can tell you how to do that. And so she messaged me back and was like, yeah, that was an accident. Didn't mean to do it. Send me the revision request. And I did. And she fixed it immediately. But you're right in that why wasn't there some sort of a buffer of like, hey, you are leaving a negative feedback. What can
arbitrage?
Would you like to reach out to the buyer or to the seller and try to?
The seller should be required to, just as the buyer is required, the seller should be required to. Before leaving negative feedback, they should be required to arbitrage the situation.
I also think that eBay should really take into consideration buyer and seller past.
Absolutely, they say they do.
They do.
They say they absolutely do.
I think that's bullshit.
It might be.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I block all buyers who have any sort of strikes or negatives or whatever. I don't deal with those people because they never pay and they're a pain in the ass. So, and I exclude whatever the minimum exclusion is. Like, I really don't want to deal with the early sellers. I mean, the early buyers. I know they're cool or whatever, but honestly, the track record is so bad for me over time that I just don't want to deal with it.
I've had very little problem with like zero feedback buyers. That's not a problem for me.
God, all of my biggest problems have come from those.
I have the complete opposite. All of the people that I felt have truly been scamming have had like thousands of feedback.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of scammers on eBay, definitely. I get scammed like at least once a month.
I just wish that there was some, because I haven't had the experience with eBay taking your track record into account. I feel like it feels like a very even playing field, which I don't think it should be. I have, 1,800 positive feedback. I sell X hundred items a month. I have 1 day shipping. I'm very, I do all of the things that eBay wants you to do. And I feel like if a buyer came along with one feedback and was like, this person shipped me a box of rocks instead of the shoes, eBay'd be like, well, it could have happened.
That's what eBay does, though.
And that's fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Like if I had a bunch of negatives saying that I didn't ship what I was supposed to or whatever, I'd say, okay, I understand where eBay's coming from.
Dude,
But to
eBay
take
will
it
boot
doesn't
your
make
ass
sense.
in a second.
That's
eBay will kick your ass
I
off of
get that it's
eBay
not my
forever
playground,
in a
you
minute.
know, or it's not my sandbox. We just get to play in it, right? I
Yep.
get that.
Well, I think that we're going to be
But
able
there
to
needs
make
to be
it.
a balance.
No, I think that they want seller interaction. They just don't know how. They just were so far removed from actual seller interaction that they just don't know how to get it back. And like, I think people like Nicole and people like 10K on the Bay and those guys are actually bridging that information gap and that contact gap, um, and checking things out. I'm going to go down to eBay next week, the eBay office here next week. So that'd be cool. Like I like the idea. Like I want to create a better platform for everybody. I mean, that's the reason. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm here doing this, to have like a little bit of influence about what happens around me and to the people around me. And, building communities is what eBay used to do. So, um, it's their company is good. It was always good at that. So I don't know what happened. Like they 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 could vet sellers in such an easy way. I mean, it's so easy to vet sellers and then trust them. It's
Right.
much better to do it that way. It takes stress off of the company and off of the sellers themselves.
Well,
Dude,
and they do it to a very small extent, right? Where they give you like you can only list 10 items in the beginning, right? Like they do it a little bit, but they don't follow through with it is the problem.
no, they don't give it back. So it's like, okay, I did the 10 thing. I jumped through this loop. I jumped
You
through this
held my
hoop.
money.
I jumped through that hoop. I'm still without a cloak. So I'm constantly like, I have when I call eBay concierge, they're like, your account's awesome. Like, how do you maintain this quality? How do you maintain? Well, I mean, the people there ask me those questions, like, and they're like, you have an amazing account. And I'm like, I don't feel that way. I feel like at any point they could just chop my fucking head off. I feel like I'm constantly walking on ice, and it's very uncomfortable.
Totally. I agree. I hate it.
Because 0.3 deep. Okay, so I'm gonna get deep here for a second. There was some weird glitch, and it popped up a couple of like defects from like last year. Well, if you're a concierge seller, your defects only go for 90 days. Then they come off after 90 days. Okay, so this is a great benefit.
Oh,
So all of a sudden, these popped up somehow, and I had a case where it was a pair of boots, and these boots were awesome, man. I polished them up real nice, put edge dressing on them. They were in great condition, but I made them beautiful. The person got them, and there was no way in hell you could say that they weren't awesome. These were amazing boots. She was like, the boots are awesome. They don't fit. Well, in order to not pay shipping back and not pay the restocking fee, she marked them as defective. They're fucking shoes. How can they be defective? So I said, hey, eBay, look, she says in her note that they're fine and that they're the wrong size, in which case she would pay return shipping and the restocking fee. Well, they've closed the case in her favor without even saying shit to me, and it gave me a defect, right? And check this out. It dropped me into below standard. Dude, I've been a top rated seller for years. And all of this happened on the 19th, and it dropped me into below whatever on the 20th, because this stuff happened like late in the day on the 19th, and there was no gap, there was no window of time, so it just dropped me off the edge. So I mean, the concierge dudes fixed it, but I'm like, what
how does
the?
that just?
How did this just like? Are you kidding me? And then so like today, I just didn't have it in me, but like somebody's gonna pay for that shit. I don't care. It's like $15. I don't care.
No, I would fight it too because it is absolutely the principle.
I actually had a similar thing happen where someone bought something, and I'm learning my lesson, but I sold an electronic that needed repair. So it says for parts or repair in the listing, in the item description, in the details, in 3 places. It's and the condition is 4 parts not working, right? So like my bases were covered. The person bought it and said it doesn't work.
And so what did eBay do?
So they opened a case to return it as an item defective, stating that it didn't work, which, hello, everyone knows this because it's in my listing 30 times. So I called eBay and they were like, oh, you have to wait until 3 business days.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we're going to close this case in your favor. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. He's like, I'm leaving a note for you, in your case details. So then I call back on, yesterday, and I'm like, and it's a different person, it's a different tune. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to have to look into this. And they're like, yeah, being a buyer, if you get something that doesn't work, and I'm just like, oh my God, no.
You're like, did you even listen to what I just said?
So I re-explained everything, and I was like, hey, it's really important that you read through my whole listing and see that I obviously stated several times that it was an item that needed to be repaired. And so then they were like, read through it, and they're like, yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the buyer has to pay for return shipping, but it's going to be a forced return. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't care about getting returns because I want people to like what they get. If they don't like what they get, I'm very happy to take it back. And if it's defective, that's my fault. I take responsibility for it. I'll cover the cost. But if you have buyer's remorse or, you bought it without reading what you were going to get, then you have to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they don't want to be, Jacob. That's why companies like Amazon win, because Amazon does not hold the customer accountable to their decision, and it really sucks. I hate Amazon.
That just feeds into a type of entitlement that does not need to be perpetuated any further.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It is ridiculous. Okay. I ordered some blocks for my child. This is how fucked up returns at Amazon are. I ordered some blocks for my kid to my dad's house.
When a story starts with, I ordered some blocks.
Some blocks for my kid.
That is fucked up.
My kid played with them. It was wonderful. I marked them as I didn't think they were exactly as they were described on the website. They were also very heavy, which I just didn't like. That's what I wrote in there, and I returned them.
Okay, wait a second. Are you admitting to abusing the system?
No, I just wanted to
That's how the system is set up.
I didn't abuse anything. I used the system as it was. No, that's the first thing I've ever returned on the internet. It wasn't planned or anything like that. It just happened. They were very heavy, and I didn't know. This is the mentality, though. So I wanted to test Amazon's return policy. I'm like, let's do it with this fucking pile of blocks that weighs 50 fucking pounds.
That's more
totally refunded everything instantaneously. They refunded me. Then listen to this shit. I didn't even have to print a label. The UPS guy came and put the label on it himself.
Fuck.
Dude, that's what we're up against.
Did he give you a back rub and top you off while he was at it?
A reach around?
He gave me a creamy squirt broil.
That's where the title of the show came from.
Squirt, broil, wiggle, bend. I was gonna say blend. So that's I am up to my fucking ass with Amazon, man. Like, so many fraud returns in December. It's crazy. And if the customer marks it as defective, you have no recourse. Zero. None. So Amazon can literally steal from you. Customers can literally steal from you. I know that they have some kind of algorithm that says so, but Jacob, you could literally order something. Let's say you bought something on an estate sale that didn't work. You could order it from Amazon, switch it out, say it was defective, and they have no recourse. They can't even fight it. You can't even fight it.
That information is so dangerous.
I was on the phone for hours trying to fix this one camera thing. The guy sent me back parts in a box, and it was like he was laughing at me. He fucking knew it too.
That's so disgusting, man. That is just low.
Dude, it's starting to happen like once a week. I mean, it's happening a lot, dude. And you know my sales volume. You've seen it. I mean, I'm not doing 50,000 a month on Amazon. I'm doing significantly less than that, you know? So
still a couple G's. But yeah,
like 5. But I mean, one big return is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like when it's something you can't sell again, when people say not as described on website. So somebody got an RCA. This happened 2 days ago. I bought out an old electronics shop from the 2000s.
I'm jealous.
Had a bunch of awesome. What's up?
I said I'm jealous.
You would yeah, you would jump for joy. So there were a bunch of like 300 or 400 gigabyte RCA recorders. There's these like 1080p digital recorders, and they're expensive, and they're really good for like, you know, transferring media and recording television shows. And they were before they put these blocks on them, so they're open. They don't have these weird restrictions, these chipset restrictions and stuff. So you just record anything. So and they're pretty high capacity. I don't know if it's 200 gigabytes, but it's somewhere in that range. Maybe they're 280. I don't remember. You can hold a lot. You can do a lot with them though. They're very flexible and like I said, they're very desirable because there's not the restrictions on how the chips work on the inside. This guy got one. It was $280. He got it, opened it, used it, had it for 24 out of 30 days, sent it back. Now, because I already know what he did. I already know he used it or replaced it with something else because that's what they all do when they do this. He's going to send it back used, and he marked it as product not as described on website. In that case, I don't know what's going to happen because they keep changing their policy, so hopefully they'll reimburse me for it, but they're stopping all, like, the magic reimbursements of last year and the year before that, they're done. And that siding with the customer didn't harm you as much when they fixed the situation, but they are not doing what they were doing before. And so it's becoming a very hostile marketplace for third-party sellers, I think.
Do you see that a lot with other sellers?
I hear people talking shit about Amazon, and I don't think they know what the hell they're talking about. Amazon is not a gold dude. The cookie jar isn't just sitting there. Like there's somebody guarding the cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? Like there's competition.
Yeah.
And I see all this stupid shit on YouTube, and I'm like, I know some of this works or has worked, but Amazon is a brutal marketplace for sellers. It really, really is. I mean,
I just do fulfilled by merchant, and I get a couple sales a week, but it's pretty slim, and you got to compete for the lowest price, and you're not prime, you know, so you're not usually the first pick of the litter. Someone has to go through.
I mean, I can sell stuff instantly, dude. I can send in stuff to Amazon, and because I have, so like some of the strategy with guys like me who have because you know the returns, like people are just going to return stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. 15% dollar wise of everything you sell is going to be returned. And there's not shit you can do about it. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've tried everything. Like I used to put batteries and stuff. I used to do this. I used to do that. I used to do this. I used to do that. Nothing affected the return rate. I couldn't get it below like 13%, no matter what I did. So taking that into account, and now it's even higher. It's more like 15 or 16. But taking that into account, you have to so you can send a whole bunch of stuff in at one time, and a bunch of it's going to sell, right? And you pull out that money as fast as you can. So I have daily payouts. You pull that money out, right? Then you're going to go into a slight deficit, and hopefully the sales and stuff will even out that deficit, right? So that you can keep making money again. But you're going to get returns, and you're going to get them relatively quickly, and you're going to have to wait for that stuff to come back. So the FBA thing, you want to be sending in. I send like 10,000 at a time usually. 10,000 in resale. Wow. But you can generate capital really, really quickly. That's what's cool about it. But you're going to pay, sometimes 20 to 25% of it back if you have high-end items that get returned. I mean, ask any experienced seller who sells used items on Amazon. And this restriction is really the worst part of it because before you were getting that product back. Mm-hmm. Now you're getting back garbage. Used stuff that is different. I mean, people send me back like they'll order a Fuji camera and send back a broken Fuji camera. I mean, it's actually happening with enough frequency that I know it's not just my imagination.
For sure.
Before I'd be like, maybe I made a mistake here. Maybe I made a mistake there. No.
So do you think you're an outlier, or do you think that is?
No. I think my sales volume is high enough that I'm not an outlier. I mean, this is happening over months, weeks and months.
What's funny is on eBay, what percent of returns do you get?
2 or 3, sometimes 4. It spikes up to so in January it was like 5. Okay. But it spikes up because of Christmas and things like that. It does. It spikes up. Your sales spike up and your returns spike up a little bit. Definitely. But I would say my average return rate for eBay is 4%.
Or less.
Or less. Yeah.
With me, I have had probably 2 or 3 returns total on Amazon as doing merchant fulfilled.
Yeah, I haven't had many merchant fulfilled returns.
But again, that's like I've probably sold 250 items on Amazon, 300 items. And that's within a year and a half.
What's your average item cost of the thing that you're selling, do you think?
My cost?
Your average sale price for the items that you're selling.
Price on Amazon is actually probably $40 to $50.
Okay. That's not bad. I would say that my average sale price on Amazon is more like 140.
Yeah, you do high value stuff on Amazon fulfilled.
It's stuff that I get for a really low price because I know about returns and all that kind of stuff. I have a strategy for Amazon because of the return rate. But I did have a 40, roughly about a $36 ASP, and I got very few returns. Because if it's under $40, people are like, oh, they don't want to fucking deal with it. But they'll totally scam you for like a $120 camera, or return it because that has a peanut stain on it or something.
I hate that.
Fucking peanut stains. I don't like to be frustrated, so I just started moving off the platform. I saw the storm coming. Believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I feel like I target the eBay buyer of the Amazon buyer.
You who?
with the stuff I sell on Amazon, I'm targeting the like eBay buyer of Amazon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The person with like more realistic standards of what they're buying.
Yeah.
And they actually read maybe the details.
Yeah, see, that's the real. Listen, Amazon is horrible. Amazon espouses to be this state-of-the-art product handling company. Dude, they break so much shit. They break shit all the time. If it's big, they break it. I used to send in VCRs with the remotes, like bubble wrapped in a box. They would break that shit. Dude, you have to drop that off of over 6 feet onto the ground. I had 10 of them that got broken. 10. I mean, it was maybe out of 60 units or something, but still.
That's high.
Then the customer gets it, it's broken. Then they blame it on you.
Oh, it's so fucked.
It's totally fucked. And so I got a snippet. I kind of got some inside information that they were changing that policy so that if the customer marked it defective, you had no recourse anymore. And that was like kind of right before I went to the eBay Open. I mean, honestly, I was like, holy shit, that is bad. That is really bad. And it definitely came true. It's definitely true now.
Have you? Okay, here's one thing I'm very interested in. I've never experienced it. So on eBay, there's something inside a return case where if you get an item back and it is not what you sent, you can contest it. How does that work?
So it's just like contesting anything. So the problem with contesting anything is if they find it in the buyer's favor, it's a defect. Right? So you have to grow up.
How do you prove that like the thing you sent out is not what the buyer...
You're guilty. That's what I was saying before with eBay. You're guilty if you want to like say you're like, all right, I want to have a trial for this. They're like, if you don't win the trial, you die. Like,
and that's it.
And they're like, we're not going to tell you anything about the evidence. We're just going to tell you who wins. We're not going to tell you the evidence they have. We're not going to tell you the evidence you have that we looked at. We're not even going to tell you.
To be fair, it doesn't matter what the evidence is.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we decided. Okay, buyer's favor. It's like they flip a dice that has 8 sides and one of them has an S on it.
It's Russian roulette with your selling standards.
Yeah, but you're getting like 8-to-1 odds. You're fucked. So they took a seller like me, 1,000 positive feedback, no negative feedback throughout history. 100% positive feedback, no negative feedback throughout history. And I contest one case. It's obvious that I'm being scammed, or maybe the customer made a mistake. I highly doubt it. I got scammed by somebody who just didn't want to pay return shipping. It's totally a scam, and it's like I fought it based on the policies that I have. They sided with it. So the buyer opened. I mean, when I opened it's kind of like the buyer opens the case when you do that in a weird way because you contest it. The case gets opened. And then they decide, and it happened in a millisecond. When I hit the button, it was like we decided in the buyer's favor.
It's like an automated thing.
It was totally automated.
They don't even give a shit.
No, they don't. Fucking
You're like
care.
the buyer sent me an email saying I'm scamming you, and they were like, "Yeah, but did they mean it?"
Dude, yeah, that's like what?
Not to be all down on eBay. Because I'm not, and I know you're not either.
I'm not. No, I'm not down on eBay at all. I love the platform. Their seller standards are messed up. I mean, 0.3 defects. I mean, imagine if
you worked at a normal job and you had 0.3 defects. And they're like,
dude, I would fire everybody in the history of everything.
I would have been fired of every job within like a week.
Dude, how do you get, okay, you lose something. You actually lose something. you're working on your inventory, you're growing your company. If you're growing your company, you're more vulnerable to having inventory issues or having issues that come with growing. The biggest restrictions they put are like if you lose something, you can't find it, you're out of stock or whatever, you get a defect for that.
There needs to be something where, like, if you're able to work it out with the customer, like, give them a credit to your store, refund them, obviously, but then give them a 20% coupon, give them a hand job. Like, if you decide to do that, how come eBay can't be like, okay,
it's like eBay, keep your cut, okay? I fucked up, keep your cut. I'm telling the customer what happened. We can try to find them another one. I'll do whatever it takes. But no, they're like, no, you get a defect for that. So like, don't grow your company. Don't grow eBay.
And you know what it does is it makes sellers find sneaky ways around it.
There's so many sneaky.
Not that I would condone them.
Dude,
I'll tell you right now.
Ever done it?
Not been able to find something, I work the seller into understanding that
the buyer,
and then I say, I'm gonna close this. I'm going to close out the transaction. And they say, okay. And
now that eBay reads your messages, they will still give you a defect for it.
No, they won't.
I've had it happen.
You've had it happen?
I had it happen.
No, they changed it.
Well, this happened to me about 3 months ago, probably.
Yeah, they changed it. So what happens now is the buyer doesn't have to respond anymore. The buyer used to have to respond before.
The buyer did respond.
I know, but they changed that, so the buyer doesn't respond anymore.
But she responded in the affirmative, like, okay, yes, buyer wants to cancel.
Well,
and I still got a defect on my account.
They made a mistake. Yeah, but they made a mistake. I'll take that off.
Which is why I think that they read the messages and saw that I said to her, hey, I can't find your item. I'm so sorry. I even told her, I said, if I find it, I'm going to ship it to you for free. Because I knew I had it. And she's like, no problem. I totally understand. So I said, hey, I'm just going to say, buyer's canceling the order. And she goes, no problem. Sounds good. Let me know if you find it. And I still got a defect for it.
This is what that's never happened to me either. But like around 3 months ago, they changed it so that the buyer, you don't have to select a cancel reason or anything. You just select the buyer canceled and nothing, it's done.
Because you can also print your shipping label for the item and then say, oh my God, it got lost in the USPS. I'm so sorry.
Or you could
get a shipping ding. You get a shipping ding, but that's it.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever do that, but
I wouldn't do that either. But.
Well, what you could do is this: you could find something. You could find something lovely that's very similar. Let's say you sold them a red pony shirt, but you have a red rabbit shirt. You send them the red rabbit shirt, and you say, "Oh, I'm very, very sorry. We sent you a red rabbit shirt. You can keep it as a gift. I'm sorry, but your pony corn shirt went somewhere else. We'll just give you a refund. Don't worry about it."
Yes.
I mean,
I've done that if I have a flaw in an item. I see a lot of people going, oh, I found a flaw as I was going to ship it, and now I have to cancel. And I go, no, you ship it with the flaw, and you say, hey, dude, there was a flaw. So sorry. I'm sending it to you for free. Enjoy it. Maybe you can fix it. But here's your money back. Yep. I shipped your product. I don't get a defect on my account. The customer is still possibly happy as long as the item's not, trashed. They got an item with a small flaw for free instead of a perfect item for $50.
Dude, they're old.
If it's a minor flaw or defect, then I'll make them aware that I discovered it, upon shipping it out. And if they have an issue with it, then I will give them a partial refund or a refund. But I guess I'm not like throwing their money back at them until they've decided, where their level of satisfaction is. If they're not satisfied, then yeah.
I like to nip it in the bud. I don't even want to get to the point with an unhappy customer. So I just say, here's your money back. Especially if it was like $100 item, I would feel differently. But for the most part, anything under $50, I'd be like, I'm paying $50 to not get a defect would be my. But I hate that there's that gun to my head because
I don't like that gun to my head either.
Exactly.
Anyway, so it's, believe it or not, the landscape is much better now than it was just a few years ago. You would get DSRs don't even matter anymore. But if you the detailed seller rating, if a customer believed that you charged too much shipping and you got a low DSR for that, you would get a defect and they wouldn't even tell you.
Yeah, it used to
Every
be
time you
way
ship
worse.
something late, it was a defect. If you didn't upload tracking in time, that was a defect, not an actual defect like it is now that would hold you in below seller status, and you wouldn't even know it because they didn't tell you before.
Yep.
So you would just get booted for not doing what you didn't even know you were supposed to do. So, and I mean, this is a much better system, but it still is pretty primitive and pretty bad. I mean, sellers can make eBay the best platform in ever.
But eBay has to let them do that.
Well, they don't have to let sellers do anything. They need sellers to be involved in eBay. Not eBay's like, oh, people who work at eBay are sellers. No, they're not. They're eBay employees that sell stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's a big difference.
Sellers, like having a consulting, like having think tanks with sellers, successful sellers with good reputations and growing businesses, people who want to make the platform better. Like if they had focus groups with that, we all want a better eBay. Like who doesn't want a better eBay? And the other platforms for me, they're just not as functional. They're not as good. I'm an old crabby guy, like I like eBay, but that doesn't mean eBay can't do anything that anybody else isn't doing. It doesn't mean they can't do what Poshmark is doing in a slightly different way, or even a very similar way.
Yeah.
So they're just not innovating, and that is their problem. They have the infrastructure to innovate. They're an old internet company with some new tech too. So, dude, at the eBay Open, they were talking about. Hi, Lucy.
Lucy.
Hey, am I allowed to join? I didn't know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why we put the link out there. It's good to see you.
You too. What are you guys doing?
We're complaining like crotchety old bastards.
Actually, we were saying that the eBay landscape is much better now than it was in the past, and it could totally be. I think we're saying eBay is awesome and it could be so much better, and I think that's very positive.
It could be. I wish they would put some more into their infrastructure and stuff.
This is the one I always go to.
Well, they have this big cavernous infrastructure. So I was about to go into that when you popped in. So at the eBay Open, there was a whole section of experimental things that they were working out. It's like they were spending money on this stupid augmented reality shit where you could put a product in a room and look around it. It's like, are you guys kidding me? Like, let's talk about social media. Let's talk about relevant things and blending them into the platform.
So augmented reality is going to be huge. That's like the next big thing. But eBay's got to get like the basic shit down first.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
then you can work on the other stuff.
Like fucking social media, like for real.
I would like to see it when I have my SKU number. I want to see that on my fucking phone. Like, is this really too hard of a thing? Just solve little things first.
So here in Portland, they're developing the seller app. Okay. So the problem with eBay is that they're ridiculous and they don't have a seller app. Are you kidding me? It's the largest selling platform outside of Amazon anywhere, and it's run by independent sellers, and they don't have a seller app.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
So dumb. It is so dumb. Like a multifunctional seller app that had tons of tools. They just bought TerraPeak. I don't know if you guys are familiar with TerraPeak, but TerraPeak has a huge database of metrics for eBay and a bunch of data analysis that they've done for eBay in the past, and really awesome data analysis tools. And eBay purchased them to offer to sellers as part of, subscriptions, and that kind of like would integrate. It looks like they're trying to move to integrate some things that would make a better seller app, and that's one of them. So that's pretty cool. It just takes them really long time to implement.
They could have been working on a better seller app like 5 years ago. That's the thing. Like they've let so many people.
They didn't even have an app 5 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you take things like Poshmark kind of came up overnight and grew really, really fast, really quick, and they could have been there. You know, they could have had that, and they just kind of missed the boat.
They missed the boat on everything.
Yeah, that is so
Except
true.
for that
So Lucy does like almost not exclusively, but pretty close to Amazon. So how do you feel about the whole returns thing? Because as you can tell, Corey is pretty fired up about it. Do you have the same issue with as many returns?
I you know, you could get worked up about returns or not. I think there's just assholes out there. There's jerks out there, and it doesn't really matter what you do. If you're going to sell stuff, you're going to run into them no matter what. And so people these days want to be able to return things no matter what. They want to be able to wear a shirt for 3 days, not wash it, and fucking return it. They're just ridiculous. So they're out there.
I want to fight that mentality, though. That mentality is bad.
I know. I don't want to lay down and take that. Like,
no, it's bad for business. It's really bad for business. It's bad for production. It's bad for everything. It's bad for efficiency.
But we live in a society right now that if people get served too much salt on their French fries, they want it returned, remade, and for free. That's just what I don't know where or why they have that mentality, but
well,
they do. I mean, you get spoiled at other places. People are so worried about negative comments. It stems from when eBay used to be able to have negative feedback, and then you have all this Yelp and stuff, and businesses are kind of being forced to have good reviews in order to make it. If you look at your local market and all the brick and mortar stores that pop up, they can get just trash on social media and never come back from it. Look at Tide right now. Whoever's on the PR team for Tide is going through hell. So it's really,
because
really hard.
Some people are fucking stupid, and Tide has
and I think they ought to just be, you know, if you're
this
dumb
is
enough
a
to eat
myth,
soap,
though, right?
go.
This is not true.
There's a very small subset of idiots.
Yeah.
Tide could just ride the wave,
are there confirmed deaths from this? That you
87.
What?
87 deaths.
Can you show me one of them, like the actual obituary?
I don't freaking know them. I don't hang out with them.
Well, I don't believe any of this shit until somebody shows me the goddamn autopsy. I don't believe that shit.
Oh my god.
So
anyway, back to returns. What I do is I just refund them their money. All they want is their money back. Refund them their money, and then I freaking block them. Just block them.
So on
Amazon?
On Amazon?
No, on eBay. If I had.
No, I'm talking about Amazon.
I don't care. Whatever. I don't do.
Over and over and over on Amazon.
What's your return rate on Amazon, Lucy?
On Amazon, I normally don't have too much of a problem, but if I have like a negative feedback or, you know, they try to give me heck, then I just call Amazon and I say, you know, I don't appreciate being harassed. I so play the victim. I don't want to be harassed. I think this customer is lying. And I've had reps twice now say, yeah, we get a lot of bad customers and we want to make sure our sellers are happy. But I don't know. I missed the first part of what your
magic
was.
Bus are you riding? And what type of stuff do you send to Amazon?
I send all sorts of stuff.
Gold bars mostly.
Yeah.
You be quiet, Kayla.
I just have a quick interjection. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reported 8 deaths related to laundry detergent pod ingestion since 2012.
8?
Only
since 2012. Okay, since 2012. 8 since 2012.
That's the Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Yeah, but when is that?
That's about as legit as I can find you on a
No, but that statistic could be older than this pod craze thing as well. So
yes, that's true. This does say through mid-2017.
Yeah, so...
And people have apparently only been doing this for the past month.
No. The children would find them and chew on them and die.
They thought they were candy. And now teenagers are doing
something.
it 'cause
They
fucking-
thought they were something. Little kids get in and start chewing on stuff or whatever. Yeah, that I would say all 8 of them are probably children in a multi-year period. So that's like one death, less than one death per year.
I mean, anything
From
that
these-
wasn't like a young child, can we just say like that was like it's fine that it happened? I'm okay
What?
with it.
No, are you fucking kidding me? I'm saying the death
No,
rate.
I'm saying I think as long as it's not a young like baby child, if this is like a teenager or a young adult doing it, I'm like totally
I
fine
don't
with
think
it.
that that's what that is. I think that statistic is one baby dying per year from eating a fucking Tide Pod,
I agree.
and this
I agree.
craze that people are talking about and killing people or whatever. I haven't seen one actual medical record of
I'd like
anyone
to
dying.
see a couple.
Well, find me one because I really want to see it because I think this is all like some kind of weird internet fake news bullshit.
Right.
That's what I think.
I could have sworn I saw that it was 87 on some news feed, but I can't find it right now. So I think you're right. It's not.
4chan totally said it was 80s.
4chan, the trolls of the world.
Probably.
I'm kidding. I have no idea. I haven't seen that number yet. I'm looking because I'm interested.
I just read it and I'm like, God damn, there's 87 stupid enough people, and I moved on. I didn't
The
really
thing
look
is,
into
there's
this.
probably people that are even stupider, just haven't done it yet.
Dude, no one's died. No one's died.
Yeah, I'm not
There were-
finding
there
any
were-
deaths.
There were poison center cases, most likely. Why internet craze is potentially deadly. But I was like watching television somewhere, I don't know, in Louisiana or something, and they were like making this whole sensational thing out of it, and it's like, dude, it's fucking detergent.
It's just like back when I was in high school, they would talk about, like on the news, they talked about those lipstick parties, right? Did you guys remember hearing about that?
No, what
They're
was
like,
a lipstick party? I
Turn
missed it.
around. So this was like, what I'm saying is, just like now they're making a huge deal about people supposedly eating like Tide Pods. When I was in high school, they were talking about how like there were these crazy like blowjob parties happening all across America. And like that didn't happen either.
Why not?
Crazy blowjob party.
You never
I've
heard
never
about
been
that?
invited to crazy blowjob parties ever.
They didn't exist. That's the point.
Missed the
But
boat.
everyone got all up in arms about it. Like, this is happening. Our children. And
Was this during the Bill Clinton time?
I would say after. If I remember it, probably after.
Slightly after, it makes sense with the political climate.
It would. Bill Clinton probably hosted quite a few of those.
He had a bunch of
He's like,
lipstick
I'm the only
parties.
one that ever participated in one of these.
At least one other person.
What I mean is,
Um,
I don't think that these things are actually happening. I think it's like one rumor that gets spun out.
I totally
into
think
craziness.
I think it's total bullshit.
Well,
No, I
it's
saw
an
something in the
interesting
corner of my eye and I was like, that is the most stupid propaganda I've ever experienced. Like, who the fuck would eat a Tide and then eat it? It's like, once detergent's in your mouth, it's fucking disgusting. Like, you cannot swallow a Tide Pod. There's no way. Nasty. Anyway, so you don't get a lot of returns on Amazon then. That's interesting. I still want to know kind of what you sell, like what
I
product.
like to sell things that you use every day. So look around your house, and that's what I sell.
Tide
Office
Pods.
supplies. I don't sell Tide Pods. I can't find a good ROI on those. But clothes, socks, shoes, office supplies, school supplies, toys, games, anything like that.
So I've only ever had one. So I've probably sold about 1,000 board games on Amazon.
Mhm.
And I've probably only had 2 or 3 returns on board games. So definitely a very low return class category, an awesome category to sell. Definitely. Low profit margins, though, a lot of competition. Unless you get really special ones,
Mm.
then you can do pretty well. I sent in a bunch of Monopoly stuff from like the 90s, like Pokemon, but wrap them up real nice because Amazon really beats the shit out of stuff. You do FBA? I'm assuming.
Yep. I only do FBA. I have never done a merchant fulfilled.
I do about 10% of my inventory is Amazon merchant fulfilled, but I don't put that stuff on eBay. It's just because I don't know, it's just a pain. So I may this week actually cross post everything back to eBay, but I don't sell a lot of merchant fulfilled stuff. But I mean, it just doesn't happen a lot. There'll be like Amazon like for like cooking stuff, like those new wave ovens or like weird waffle irons or like that stuff is really good if it's new for Amazon.
Do you mainly sell used game boards then?
New on the game boards.
Okay.
I only send new games to Amazon. I don't send used games to Amazon. I do find like all media, like diskettes, CDs, that stuff is awesome. But all of a sudden, somebody can drop your price in a second. I have repricers. I don't know if you use repricers or not, but
I do. I just use the Amazon one. I have not gone with a third-party one. Who do you use?
Reprice it. It's not that good. I wouldn't recommend them. I'd find another company to do it. It's Cro-Magnon. But
So
I mean, it works, but it's not very functional.
Amazon has their own, and it's free, and it's with the system, and it came out, I think, it wasn't that long ago. Anyhow, I know a couple other resellers that say it's just comparable. There's not, like, the ones that you pay for, you're not getting that much more stuff for it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have very broad repricer settings, so I don't really mess with it too much. I was doing a lot more on Amazon at this time last year. A lot more. I just when it's them. So I find the highest fraud classes, and it's crazy how high it is. I've had like, 5 out of 50 items that were fraudulent in specific categories. Anything Apple iPod that's like vintagey, so much fraud.
Didn't they lock down the name like 8-9 months ago? They locked down you can't really use iPhone or whatever in listing names for a bunch of stuff.
Amazon?
Yeah. Oh, gotta.
I don't sell those new kind of gadgety products, like private label kind of things. I don't do any of that stuff.
Anyhow, there was a big crackdown on iPhone stuff because there was so much fraud.
I'm an old school Amazon seller, so I started selling on Amazon in like really, really early. Like I sold books on Amazon probably earlier than 2000, maybe earlier than 2008, maybe 2007. But I just started doing FBA much later, and then I only did books, and then I stopped, and then in 2010 I started doing like vinyl records and some CDs and some DVDs. I'll just only media, and then like maybe 2 years ago I started selling on FBA, started using FBA as the fulfillment, and in the beginning it was fucking awesome. Prices were really high, competition was really low, and returns were really low. Now competition is really, really high. So if you're older, like when did you start selling on Amazon?
2000. It'll be 3 years, so okay. 15.
So you probably have some good. You're probably unrestricted in some nice categories then.
Pretty much a lot of things but DVD. I got in right when they locked down DVD, so I was kind of pissed. But I'm ungated for health, beauty, luggage, clothes, Nike. I've got a lot of good ones. So that's the stuff I like to go out for.
Only like 2% of sellers, according to a statistic that was given to me by this like guy who like crawls Amazon seeing what people can sell somehow. I have no idea how this guy knew I was approved to sell Nike, but he called me
Do you
and
have
knew
any
it.
Nike listings?
Oh yeah, I do. That's it. Damn it. I guess.
Have you heard of this Tide Pod challenge?
Oh my god. No, you're right. Jesus Christ. I'm really stoned right now. Okay.
Oh goodness.
So I really am.
He's like, I'm not drinking anymore.
So
but
he said only about 2% of sellers can sell Nike.
Really? That low?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I can sell Logitech, Sony, RCA. I'm one of the few that I guess I'm grandfathered into Le Creuset, and like they blocked everybody, but for some reason they didn't block me. And there's like some weird other blocked ones. Like I can sell Chanel, and they say everyone's blocked on that, but I can sell some Chanel
would
products.
the like to say have to be new?
It has to be new.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Which at
But
that point,
no
wouldn't
one-
it be better
no
to
one-
sell it elsewhere?
No one is unblocked. You're not supposed to be able to sell it unless you're Le Creuset. But I'm not blocked for some reason. But they went back and blocked me on some CDs, and they went back and they blocked me on DVDs over $25. I could sell all DVDs at one point.
They went back and blocked you for that. Was it because
They
of lack
blocked
of
me
selling?
in grocery too. So I could sell grocery, and I was blocked in grocery, and then they unblocked me in grocery. Fucking Amazon.
Weird. So here's a question that's been boggling my mind. You know, I game like Kayla games, and it used to be that you could build characters up and sell accounts. I've heard people of selling Amazon accounts, but I don't even know where you would go to sell them and what they'd be worth and stuff. Has anybody looked into that?
That's interesting.
I mean,
Probably Craigslist or just other internet forums.
And then I hear it's super, like, if you get caught, you're in trouble.
I told the guy to buzz off. He offered me like $3,500. What?
I've heard upwards of like 10,000 for.
Oh, my account's worth like at least $150,000. Like at least.
So I mean, it is a legit business. Okay, so I have X amount in my warehouse and whatnot. If I were to take the business and sell it, I always was kind of trying to think of what that estimation would be. Would it be worth my inventory value, or would it be worth the inventory and then all the ungatings?
Well, you know, you can divide your business into different divisions, and you can sell those as different like LLCs, and you can do all kinds of stuff. You can include inventory with the sale of something or not. You know, your Amazon account is Amazon says they own your account. You don't own your account, most likely. So it doesn't give you the right to sell it. But at the same time, if you're selling your business entity actually owns your account. So if the ownership shifted, you know, you can change your tax ID number on Amazon. So I don't see why you couldn't transfer accounts legally. I mean, I don't know if it would. It could go to court, and then they would have to. You know, they'd have to say.
I've just never heard anybody really talking about it, so
it definitely happens for sure.
It's kind of like one of those things people don't discuss much.
Well, I mean, it's the longer you're grandfathered in, the better chance you have of not getting like your head lopped off. I mean, just look at I have this weird lock on my account too. It's really weird. So like merch, it just says we're not accepting merch. We're not accepting merch submissions, and everyone can submit right now, and I cannot. And I was in a very early granting stage, and I went for a year and a half without posting anything. It's totally my fault. I didn't post anything. It just wasn't a priority. And then they didn't say anything though. If they would have said, "Hey, you haven't used your merch account. Want to use it? If not, we're going to shut it down in 2 minutes," I would have been like, "Shit, like I'm posting something." But they didn't give me a second. They just shut it off and didn't even tell me. That's what pisses me off about Amazon. So like when they bought Whole Foods, they just gated everybody in all the Whole Foods brands, even if they had products in the Amazon warehouse. So I had to pay.
So two things going on right now that are kind of, well, one's been publicly announced, but I have a friend who works at Safeway, and they're getting ready to partner with Safeway right now to expand their Prime Now stuff. So it makes me think that grocery may even go on a further lockdown, because if they're linking up and selling from Safeway, then, you know, a lot of products may be included in that, as well as the Whole Food stuff. And then the other one they just announced is they're going to do some sort of medical on-call stuff. My other friend, who's a nurse, got cold called asking if he'd be interested. And they're going to do like this whole online medical service stuff. And it makes me think they would do health products with that.
Absolutely. So this is the crazy shit, dude. They're talking about like a single payer like healthcare system in the future where Amazon takes the money and is the chain, is like they manage an actual healthcare insurance system that's a single payer system, like senators and stuff have. And like, you know, they will have so much power, they can drive the market down and make healthcare affordable. Because think about how many Prime members there are, and all those people have health insurance. And if it's a better deal with Amazon and they get the same service for a better deal, and it's legal and everything, they'll do that. And they'll have an insane concentration. People don't want to. What's up?
Pharmaceuticals would just get killed. I mean, can you imagine price dropping on pharmaceuticals?
I hate pharmaceuticals. I hope they all get killed.
Yeah.
Back to the streets too. Guys like Martin Scrotum, that guy, all these guys, fuck pharmaceutical companies.
But yeah, no, it's been announced. It came across, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, sometime this week, that they are going into the medical stuff.
Dude, that is so crazy. I kind of heard some rumors and some predictions, and both interesting. I don't like rumors that much. I do love predictions though. So
no. I mean, they are going into medical stuff.
Absolutely, they totally are. Yeah,
what it's going to entail is going to be crazy.
Yeah, the rumor I was talking about was the single pay, like the healthcare insurance run by Amazon.
I don't know if it'll be ran by Amazon, but I think Amazon will have a piece of that pie. And you got to look at the country as a whole. I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but politics in a seller's world. You look at the country right now, and Trump doesn't have a really good support going on, and it looks like we'll probably get a Democrat type president here in 3 years. And so they're probably going to push that healthcare. That'll be one of the first things that are going to push through. And that's probably going to be single payer, because that's what it seems like the country is going to go for. But again, that's just prediction on what's going on and what people are tired of. People are tired of getting sick and dying and having friggin' GoFundMe accounts to pay for their medical bills.
Dude, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I have health insurance, like one of the silver healthcare plans. It cost me thousands of dollars last year. My daughter had a very small accident, not life threatening, and my wife thought we should bring her to the hospital, and I agree. We took her to the hospital, and I got a bill for $1,000, and then she was there for an hour. And I honestly went in and raised hell. I was like, I want to see every piece of paper. I want to see every bill. I want to see every charge. And I want to have a verification that all of these things were done and charged. And I need everything. I need witness for everything, or I'm not going to pay anything. And she was like, well, this, that. In the state of Oregon, we don't have to show you any. She said something like kind of crass. And I was like, I think the state of Oregon also says, actually, I think the state of Oregon says that they have to show every charge. It doesn't give any timelines or anything. So I was like, oh, all right, awesome. I'll just sit here while you figure it out, because I'm not leaving until I'm satisfied. And she was like, it's only $1,000. So we have this charity, blah, 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 blah. Can you afford this? And I was like, no. She's like, so you can't afford this? No. She's like, okay, we'll just waive it. And she just was like, it's done.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is, like, I have the, like, middle healthcare plan. My daughter needs to go to the hospital for a very, like, non-life threatening thing, and it costs $1,000 for a fucking hour.
And that's after insurance.
And that's
Because the insurance they took care of like something, but still, I mean, there was I had a deductible of like the deductible of like $3,000 first. That's why the $1,000 was on my shoulders. But are you guys serious? How can they get away with that?
It's really not.
It's
everybody has
robbery. It is larceny.
Everybody has stories just like that one. There's not a single person that hasn't been through something like that. Oh yeah,
worse.
Tons worse.
I'm just giving a personal light example.
The country has got to come to a decision whether healthcare is a right or a privilege. And we need to make that distinction, because when you go to the hospitals have to treat you right now. So we need to make it a determination whether it's a right or a privilege. If it's a privilege, then the hospitals need to be able to say, sorry, you can't afford this, go die out on the streets. And our country's never going to do that. So it's going to sway towards the other way, where it will become a privilege and we will have to solve the problem somehow. Because right now it's not working. Just like your story, I mean, I have a friend whose daughter had strep throat, wound up with a thing, had to get it lanced. $8,000 later, she gets a bill. She wound up getting it charitied off or whatnot. But the thing is those hospitals get their money one way or another. If they're not getting it $1,000 from you, they're getting it in grants or taxes or something. They have to pay their bills one way or another, and we pay it one way or another. So I would rather just get some more regulations in there or something, because it's ridiculous.
Well, there has to. I think that there's there are both regulations that are prohibiting a market-free system. So you have lobbyists who are creating this situation using non-market forces. So regulations are non-market forces. So they're probably using regulation to keep it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So like more regulation isn't going to change it. What's going to change it is a paradigm shift, kind of like the paradigm shift that made cabs obsolete and Uber the best transportation option. Disruption needs to occur to these systems. They hate disruption because the class that owns everything loses power, influence, and assets with every disruption. Disruptions even the economy at this point for some reason. I mean, a lot of weird things are happening right now. It seems like time is moving very quickly and we have very peculiar things occurring. I don't know if like in 2012, like reality forked, because dude, seriously, Donald Trump is president. Did you guys realize that? Donald Trump is president of the United States.
Don't remind me.
How can we be in base reality right now, a non-forked timeline that's reasonable? I mean, this is crazy. How can this be happening? It's not that I don't think that like Donald Trump's evil or this or that, and I don't really have any political opinions about him, because he's just like this weird, goofy caricature of like a baby boomer or something, and it's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's like, dude, we cannot be living in fucking reality.
No, there's been so many of those videos that go around and interview people on the streets, and they ask them questions about our politics or stuff, and they like have no clue. I mean, they're the ones eating the Tide Pods. They're just
found them.
Yeah.
Hey, did it. I mean, I just think that all of that's like, it doesn't even matter whether you know about what politics is anymore, because it has seriously devolved into Donald Trump being president. I mean, that's fucking, that is absolutely, that is crazy.
Well, I firmly believe it starts with the education system, and we need to ramp that up as well, because we can't have a whole bunch of stupid people running around. It's driving the rest of us crazy. But I argue with the schools all the time. this one drove me nuts.
You can't fix stupid.
My son was having trouble at the school. They wouldn't allow him to go to the restroom during school time. Why I have to spend my time arguing with the school about this in the first place is beyond me. So I'm like, why can't he use the restroom? Well, because too many kids do drugs in there. Okay, it sounds like we have a drug problem that we need.
Not a bathroom problem.
No. So anyhow, yeah, we need some serious revamping in that because that's just ridiculous.
You know, you guys were talking about Amazon merch, so I decided to go and check my account,
Yeah.
and I'm approved.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna poke you in the eye.
Why don't you come over here and design a shirt for me instead?
I'd rather poke you in the eye. Oh, shit.
I was just going to add something on to the Donald Trump tip, and that our society is it's domesticated with the idea that value is tied very closely to money or just equivalent to it.
Mhm.
So we have a system where people, they think the more money you have, the more valuable you are. Obviously, you worked hard for it. And so people with a lot of money tend to carry this weight around with them of respect and authority just because they have a lot of money, Doesn't matter who they are as a person. What their actual values and morals are.
I hate to say it, but there's two parts to that. It's also that he's a guy and he's white. I'm sorry. A lot of people associate that.
Yeah, there's a lot to Donald Trump's.
I don't know. I think that they rigged. I think they rigged the whole system to make him president. Honestly,
I think there's
they did a lot of swing.
Play.
I think they rigged the whole thing. They knew he was going to be president before, and I just don't believe that could happen any other way. I mean, my dad is like a staunch Southern Republican lived in the Deep South, still does, and was like surrounded by people who did like Trump, but he himself did not, and he knew lots and lots of people who absolutely were not. So it's just, I mean, it is crazy. The thing is, nothing happened early. It was like he rose to the position where he had to be elected because they weren't going to elect another Democrat. The Americans weren't going to elect another Democrat. So, he had no, I mean, how can Donald Trump have no political,
know-how?
Obstruction on the way to the caucus. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that's what his whole appeal was. People were tired of politicians and wanted a different change. The problem, though, is as politicians are good at politics, Trump is good at pissing people off.
According to
how you make friends.
Trump is good at politics because you need to be good at politics to become a politician. That's what a politician is. Somebody who is good at politics. That is how he became a politician.
Yeah. It's like
he was better at politics than the politicians were.
You can't say he's not a politician now.
Exactly. And you can't say he wasn't a politician when he was doing what he was doing then, because those are the actions that you take as a politician to become a professional politician. So
to me, politicians do negotiations and working with other people and making laws and things like that, and I don't see them really doing that. So
making rules. They make rules. They don't always. There's only a very few politicians that make laws. There's a lot of politicians that make statutes.
They work on bills and things like that.
Well, I think
most politicians don't do that.
And
they have a plan. So you come to the board and you say, healthcare is a problem. Here is my plan. Trump said, healthcare is a problem. I have no plan.
Well, also a politician
is
representative of a group of people.
Correct.
And
a businessman is representative of
his
interest and his business, which is different than a politician who's supposed to represent his what do you call that? Is you is or isn't you isn't. What's that line from Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Do you remember that line?
I don't.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna think of the word. My constituency.
Constituents.
His constituency.
See.
Constituents? I think
Constituents?
I think it's both.
Probably.
Yeah, he appeals to his constituency and he acts in their behalf. It's the worst. Government is the worst thing ever. It takes all your personal political power away. Government is very, very bad for humanity. I'm sorry. That's my belief.
So not necessarily you, but I think that the general public is starting to realize that Trump is not really representing them. I think there's a lot of what do you call it, media out there kind of honing in that he's representing himself.
The best politicians never represent the class or orders that they espouse to in the beginning.
They're supposed to at least appear like they're supposed to be doing that.
I mean, he didn't do it in the beginning. He didn't appear like what you were saying. Like he just kind of like pushed his way through. I mean, there's this train wreck where somebody's standing in front of him or doing some weird gesture, and he moves the person out of the way. Have you seen this clip? No.
Yes.
Can I show a clip of a political figure? Will they get pulled? Is that copyrighted? I don't think so.
It shouldn't be. It's a public. It's a public figure.
Yeah, let's look this up because I just want to put this on here as a part of the public record. It's gonna take me a second to find it. I'm gonna go into hiding here, and so for a second, so you guys can continue to speak. Hopefully, I'll be back momentarily. I'm muting the microphone. I talk too much anyway.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but
there seems to be. I mean, kind of with anytime someone makes a mistake, you have the type of people who say, yeah, I made a mistake. And then you have other people who are like, no, I'm still right. And I think with anyone who is strongly left or strongly right, they're just going to be set in that they didn't make a mistake. And so it almost seems like regardless of what Donald Trump does, the people that are strong right or far right, they don't believe that they're just like standing behind it anyway, even though, my God, it's barely intelligible. It's actually unintelligible what he says. And he repeats the same thing over and over and tries to drive truth and reality through repetition of falsehood.
I mean, you're appealing to the basest level of humanity at this point. Like,
oh yeah. It's like
it's a lowest common denominator.
If I just repeat this false piece of information over and over, and it's like easily provable false. Like I don't know what it like PolitiFacts and NPR, like they constantly run articles like taking reputable resources and research and placing it directly next to his quote of what he said. And it's like pants on fire. It's like, this is obscenely, this is not false. It is a lie. They don't use the word lie when it comes to politics, right? They use a different word. They use, they say like it's inaccurate.
Alternative facts.
Alternative fact, yeah. They never say like this person was lying, but Donald Trump, he's lying. His intention is to misrepresent the truth, and it's crazy. It's
watch this,
crazy
kids.
because like everyone knows he's lying, but no one is holding him accountable. There's no accountability, it seems like.
Wait, did you see this? Oh man, that was copyrighted. Crap. All right. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'm just showing this anyway.
So anyway, until people feel like politicians should be accountable,
you gotta just watch how he does this. What's not copyrighted? All right, let's do the Huffington Post. Let's just watch this here. Look how he struts it. He just comes out like struts his stuff, moves the guy out of the way. Look. How he flips his coat.
The funniest thing is, like, a year ago, we were like, this is the worst thing that someone could do. This is insane. And now we're like, that's nothing.
They kind of blocked him out. See, they blocked him out.
And he's like, let me in.
They actually did block him out. This isn't the whole story. So this has been edited in a bad way. It doesn't, because the first part is way funnier. So like they all walk in and they're like blocking him out, and like kind of moving him around, and then like everybody stops. He pushes his way through and like says, "Oh, I'm good enough. Look, I have a little suit on."
I'm also important.
They totally were bullying him though when he was walking in, and it's funny. I mean, it's really funny. They just raw dogged him hard, so he just pushes them out of the way, and then like when he fixes his
like, I'm a big boy. I deserve to be here.
This is what they taught me in power school. Oh my god, dude!
Did you guys hear the when the doctor gave his like professional Jeez, I can't think. I'm without words.
You're NyQuil'd up.
Yeah, dude, you've been smoking that Hanji Wanji. What are you doing? You can't remember stuff over there?
So he was talking about like the medical tests that he did on Trump, and he was like, "Yeah, he's 3 pounds from being obese, and he's this height. His heart's in good condition. He's fit mentally and physically for another, 7 years." I'm just like, no.
I mean, he is a caricature, a total caricature. I mean, that clip is hilarious to me. Hilarious. And like, how in the fuck? I mean, come on. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know if I can. If Donald Trump gets reelected as president, I will probably move back to. I'll probably move to Argentina. Honestly.
Can you move to Argentina? Do you have?
I'm a resident of Argentina. Yeah, my daughter was born there.
Okay. We've it bothers me because some people are like, well, if you don't like it, move out of country. We've tried. It's hard to move out of country.
Yeah,
Canada's like, we don't want your ass.
No, I'm not suggesting anybody does that. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing.
No, I'm just saying it's a lot of people flippantly say, well, you should just move. No, it's not as easy as it sounds. It's actually quite difficult to get into some countries.
Argentina is cool because they have open immigration. It's probably the only country in the world that has open immigration, basically. So you come, they give you 90 days, but if you overstay it, then you're irregular. You're just irregular because it's not illegal, because they never change the immigration laws because they don't ever change the laws in Argentina. So the immigration laws that drove all the Italians there in the 40s and the Germans there in the 30s, they still exist. They still exist in that capacity. So you can come, you become irregular. After a certain amount of time, you can apply for residency, and then after a certain time, you can apply for citizenship. And none of those things are criminal. There's no criminal immigration laws like you would have here in the United States. If you were a criminal, you'd be a criminal, and it doesn't have to do with your immigration or your immigrations, that kind of stuff. You might be denied residency because you were a criminal, but you wouldn't be considered a criminal because you were there, just by proxy. So this is not something that even is in their culture. So when my daughter was born in Argentina, one of the good reasons to have her there, I mean, she can't be president, but she instantly gets like dual citizenship. If she was born in the U.S., it would be hard for her to get Argentine citizenship. But it's very simple to get U.S. citizenship, which is ironic if your child is born abroad. So it literally took me like 2 weeks to get her passport. and get her naturalized and all that kind of stuff. So very, very simple there. So she got dual citizenship, but in the U.S. it's very like we have this idea that if you come here, like you need this permission, and like if the permission isn't granted in a specific way, then you become a criminal. And I don't think that's the right way to do things at all. I mean, I thought this was like a fucking free country. I thought that's what made this country great. It's a fucking the
Yes,
only
yes.
exactly. It's not a free fucking country.
No.
No, Argentina is actually a free country in the non-financial sense. They have a financial, like our country doesn't have a financial cage. Like you're not so bound by bureaucracy that you can't even do business. We're very business friendly, and you can do the things that we do here. Totally not going to work in Argentina. Just impossible. Because the market forces are so, and capital restrictions are so great that there's not a lot of laws are really heavy when it comes to like how commerce is done, but at the same time, like there's no it's not a police state. There's no police running around. There's no traffic. There's zero traffic cops. You know, they have military checkpoints, but you know, Argentina had like Argentina had it was a political insurrection. It was a peaceful coup. They had a coup, and then there was a dictator. His name was Videla, and there are these islands. They're still contested. They're called the Malvinas Islands by Argentina, and they're called the Falkland Islands by the rest of the world. This guy Videla sent an armada of planes, and there were British and Argentine people living on the islands. He declared war on Britain basically and said, you don't have any claim to the island. Because they had claimed it. You don't have any claim to the island, and they attacked it. That's one of the first things he did in office, and they had a war for a while. Dude, they kicked the British. Like Argentina has amazing pilots. They sunk like 3 British ships. Dude, the Falklands War is no fucking joke, dude. It was a crazy naval and air battle. It wasn't fought on land at all, basically at all. A bunch of Argentine dudes died, definitely, but not that many. Not that many at all. But you know, the British they sunk this ship, the Belgrano, the ARS Belgrano, and that was actually the USS Arizona or something like that. We sold it to the Argentines, right? And it was part of their navy, and the British sunk it outside of this. There was some kind of war zone, like because they declared war, there are these international rules of war. So Argentina declared war. And then because they did that, there were these rules, and the Belgrano was outside of this perimeter, this war perimeter, and the British sunk it. And it's this huge point of contention, like this actual international point of contention. But Argentina had already sunk like 2 or 3 of their ships, something like that. They sunk a couple of really crazy ships. Argentina's a weird country. They sunk a Chinese, so they hate the Chinese fishing off in the waters off of their country. Last year they sent in warplanes and sunk a giant Chinese trawler right off the coast of Argentina. I don't know if you heard about that. It's pretty crazy. Like the first time, because China's a communist country, so even if somebody has private ownership, everything is run. A government owns everything. Every business the government owns in some capacity. It is a communist country, so you do business with the government if you do business. There's no other way. So basically, they sunk a Chinese. That commerce is the government, right? The state of China. The government and the state have kind of they have this frou-frou non-state government where they have like Qing, whatever his name is, Xi Jinping, or what, I can't pronounce his name, but he's like the president of China or whatever. But dude, it's supposed to be this single state communist system. So how do you have a fucking president? President's elected. Hello, McFly. So they sunk a Chinese fishing vessel with fucking rockets, with exocet rockets. They fucking blew a hole in the side of the Chinese ship, and the Chinese didn't do shit. I mean, they kind of shake a stick or whatever, but they didn't do anything. They were in Argentine waters, though. They were not in international waters. So what can China do? It's like they were like, we ordered the ship out. It tried to ram our ship. We fucking blew it up. Like it attacked our military and we destroyed it. So actually, I kind of, I like that political move because it's like, oh shit, these guys are fucking serious. Don't fish in Argentine waters. They will blow your ass up.
What's so special about the waters?
Well, you have your own.
I know. I'm just saying.
7 miles out.
Like you could say, hey, turn around. You know, it's just going through the waters.
Oh, that didn't go well.
Well, so they can fish
blow it up.
More than 7 miles out. They can fish whatever they want because it's international waters. But up to 7 miles is Argentine waters, fishing grounds, the state.
So was this ship like? It was a commerce ship. So was it bringing in commerce, or was it just? It was like, why would the Chinese ship be there?
It was poaching fish.
Oh, okay.
It was a trawler. So it was destroying the bottom of the ocean and stealing all the fish.
I thought you said it was a commerce ship, so that didn't...
It is a commerce ship. I mean, a trawler is a commerce ship.
Oh, okay.
It is involved in commerce. It's not a military ship because China is not like the United States, where the military is separate from anything because the government is everything, and every enterprise, whether it's a fishing vessel or a suitcase company, it's all at least partially owned or run or regulated by the government. So
no, I had a different picture of a different boat in my head.
Oh, so. Yeah. No, they were. It was these deep sea trawlers that just like destroy the world, and apparently they're all in international waters everywhere, and they're all Chinese. And the Chinese are just fucking destroying the ocean right now, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So they asked them to leave. They didn't. They say that they attacked. So this ship, this Chinese merchant ship, went to attack a military ship. So this was not like some kind of civil incursion. They attacked the military ship, and because they attacked the military ship, that boat attacked Argentina based on sovereignty. So, like, there was no chasing it away anymore. It was like, you're getting fucking blown up. You know, crazy though. I mean, I would have thought that they would not have done that. It sounds like you should sink Chinese fishing vessels, but they didn't fucking care.
Did did everybody perish, or did they live?
No, nobody died.
Nobody died.
They just sunk the boat and rescued everybody off.
You just gotta wonder what's going through that fisherman's, or whatever you want to call them, head. Like, we're gonna fucking fish here. We don't care.
The criminal. They're all criminals.
We're gonna just fish here. I don't care. We'll take on Argentina.
Oh yeah. They don't have. They're probably. I mean, if you're on a Chinese fishing vessel, that's probably a horrible fate. Okay, it stinks. You're dealing with fish. You're going around the world. You're dealing with pirates. Seriously, dude. There's lots of international waters. There's fucking pirates and all. There's no. You're on your own, man. You are on your own. That's why they travel in convoys. They travel in these convoys. The Chinese. I don't know if China even has a government. I think it has like a state. I don't think it's really a government. A government is like run with the people, and the people like
whatever you want to call it. So I have two things that kind of just really, really bug me about it. One, my uncle goes over there all the time, and he said it's so weird, like how brainwashed the people are. Nobody knows about Tiananmen Square. Like, it is not taught. It's not allowed to be discussed. You are not allowed to have any books referencing it. None of the people are allowed to know about it. It's creepy. And then the other thing is, I had a friend who grew up there, and he said the amount of things that are fertilized with human waste is just really gross. You have to really watch the markets and stuff. It's called like something with the word night in it. Anyhow, so they're just priming themselves up for like a disease. Just that many people.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gnarly over there. But I mean, I don't remember what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter, I guess. There was a cultural they called it a cultural revolution, and basically what it was re-education. This is like definitely part of these communist systems where they take the people who are educated and know how to fight government or fight like power structures, and they remove them from the social order, be it death or prisons. And then, they exclude parts of history and the truth from, to build cults of personality around these. Look at North Korea. I mean, I don't know if it's really like that there. All of that could be propaganda. It could totally be propaganda. And I'm putting that out there first. But, dude, that's like the crazy state is secret and is everything. And there's this guy who is like the great leader. I mean, it's straight out of 1984, but like straight out of the book 1984. It's like he wrote that book about North Korea. It's fucking crazy. If that's the way it is, I have no idea. There could be nothing in North Korea. How could I ever know? I don't know. But the portrayal of North Korea as this. What's up?
Documentaries.
Dude. Okay.
I'm as good as any,
I saw a video of the Big Bang. It was amazing. How did that video?
He's only gonna believe it. He physically gets to go there and see it with his own eyes.
No, I just find the propaganda fishy. And whenever I see propaganda, I ask questions. I think that's how you should be.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I mean, all this missile bullshit and all this stuff, for me, all that's like bullshit propaganda. Something else is. It's always something else. There's always something else going on.
Oh, we should ask Sarah Palin. She could probably see it from her house.
Dude, I lived in Alaska for a few years, and I never once saw Russia from my house.
I always thought I kind of had a crush on Sarah Palin because I thought she was cute.
Oh.
It's a dangerous crush.
Then I heard her talk.
Then she opened her mouth.
That was very.
I thought she was like a bathing suit model or something, but then she was actually a politician.
It's an 8-second crush.
Yeah.
My favorite SNL skit is when they did one of her speeches, when I think it was Tina Fey did one of her speeches and did it verbatim. And nobody knew. They were like, oh, that's such a funny script. It wasn't a script. I saw the replay. Yeah. It was so exact. Oh my God.
Tina Fey, though.
I love Tina Fey.
The fifth commandment is we can have guns. But there's rules to life and hunting and stuff like that. And the first rule of hunting safety is never spill beer in your bullet chamber.
And then hunt wolves from helicopters.
With machine guns.
It's the best and only way.
Napalm. History lesson with Corey. What was I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Just the history of Argentina.
Just
Argentina
from the dawn
was
of humanity till now.
The Spanish got to the New World and said it's all ours. That was part of the Spanish conquest of the New World. And then the Portuguese somehow got fucking Brazil. Then they lost Portugal. So the guy who was the king of Portugal was then only the king of Brazil because Portugal was in some kind of fugue state or something. And then they won whatever the war was. So then they got Portugal back. And so then he became the emperor of Brazil and Portugal because then Portugal, he was the emperor. I don't know. Dude, there's like weird, like nobility is fucking weird. The history of nobility is weird. I mean, how the hell is there? How are there kings? Like, what are we living in? Like 1476? Like, how the fuck can you still be king? How can you even think that that's cool or okay? Like, you were talking about the queen's like, we're all equal, but I am manifested by God to be the queen of the
called
even
concentration
say
of wealth.
that. I don't even know. It's cool.
Speaking of the monarchy, we're going to see Hamilton on Tuesday.
I don't know what that is.
I had to look it up too. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
What?
I didn't have a
I don't
chance
do
to-
musicals.
I'm
Don't do
obsessed with
musicals.
musicals. Hazel is obsessed, and we were able to get tickets for a really good price for her birthday. So that's her birthday surprise. Is we're gonna go see Hamilton.
Does she know?
No, she's gonna find out on Sunday on her birthday.
Fun.
Can you adopt?
I'm making
can
her
you
a
adopt
shirt
me?
for it. Can I adopt
you-
you?
Can you adopt me?
Can you pay for your own ticket?
I guess.
It's
I
funny,
could.
like tickets were like they were going up to like $1,000 per ticket,
Dude,
and I was not paying that, obviously. And
fuck
then
this.
Mike
Buy
texted
tickets.
me at like 6 in the morning the other day and was like,
Thumbs up.
I just got a text message from Ticketmaster that tickets are $300. That there's 4 tickets on the floor, like 12 rows back for $300 each.
Dude,
And
the
I, like-
bots buy them. So the bots bought out Elton John in less than 1 minute. So I went to get Elton John tickets this morning because they came online and like they were gone. They were sold out in like less than 50 seconds.
Yep. So the way they did it with Hamilton is they did a pre-sale to like fans. So you had to do all this stuff to sign up, and but then it was like a lottery, and I didn't get those. And then they have another lottery that they do every day of the show. They do $10 tickets. They give away 2 $10 tickets a day, but you have to apply to the lottery every single day.
Jeez.
So
I mean, that's all ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Like, I would like to see Elton John, but it's like, then I guess, like, I didn't see this. I just read this. Like, I did not witness this part of it firsthand, but the tickets were within 5 minutes on the resale sites for like 3 to 5 times as much. But
they're
literally
on sale before tickets are available sometimes. They like pre-sell them. They were doing that with Hamilton. The tickets weren't even out yet, and they were on the resale sites for like $1,400.
Jesus.
And you weren't buying a particular seat. You were just buying like mezzanine, or you were buying like an area because they couldn't guarantee what tickets they were gonna get. They just knew they were gonna get tickets.
Yeah.
So they were just
they
selling
were strong
generic,
enough force to get some tickets and
first balcony.
hold you over the coals on those.
I'm so glad I didn't pay up for it because
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a lot of
$300
money.
a ticket, and you didn't pay up.
You still
Yes.
paid up for it, just not as up as.
Well, no, yeah, no. I mean, I know I paid up for it. This is like something I really wanted to see, and I really wanted to take Hazel to see. The fact that she shows an interest in American history as a 6-year-old, like, that's pretty fucking cool. And the
It
musical is
looks
amazing.
like a very cool show. So
I mean, she knows all the words to every song in the entire thing. Like,
what?
I don't even know what it is.
the whole thing.
I have no idea what
I mean,
we're
you know who
talking
Alexander
about.
Hamilton is, right?
Was he didn't he invent Oreos or something?
Yeah, it's a whole musical about Oreos and the invention of.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Well, it's a really good musical. I recommend you can look up the music on YouTube, and it's
It's
really
a
good.
fucking musical about Alexander Hamilton.
And George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. And hearing my daughter sing about like the Constitutional Convention is kind of cool.
I don't like those dudes. They were all like slave owners. I disavow them and disown them.
They weren't all slave owners, but most of them were. But that actually
Hamilton was a slave owner. Washington was a slave owner.
I don't think
Fuck
Hamilton
those
was
guys. I
actually.
hate those guys. Are you on crack?
I'm not saying I'm positive. I just don't think he was. Because he criticized Jefferson a lot for it.
Well, that's just
while
because he
having
had
his
less-
own.
He was like, "You have more slaves than me," and that.
That could have been it. Like I said, I'm not dying on this hill here.
My
Maybe he
slaves
didn't have
get
slaves.
treated better.
He would have been very cosmopolitan if he didn't have slaves. I don't know enough about Alexander Hamilton to say if he had slaves, but pretty much every aristocratic white male had slaves.
Wikipedia says evidence points to yes. But
Ooh.
my 3 seconds of looking.
That's all it takes. That's all we require on this show, really. It's like
In-depth,
a bare
in-depth.
minimum of research.
Ambition and bondage, an inquire on Alexander Hamilton and slavery. Whoa, this is the Columbia University. Wow, cool.
Fake news.
Well, I hope you enjoy the show. It sounds like it's going to be lots of fun. Where are they playing it at?
That looks awesome.
The Paramount.
Nice. I love that theater.
Yeah, I do too. We saw Aladdin there last year. We took her to see Aladdin. But the show is at like 7:30, so we're keeping her home and I'm gonna like run her crazy during the day so she takes a nap. And then that way she can stay up from like 7:30 to 10. Otherwise she's gonna sleep through the fucking thing and I'm gonna kill her.
Dude, Alexander Hamilton was actually born. He was illegitimate, so he did not get any birthright. He lived on the island of St. Croix.
He was
Wow.
yeah, he was born there.
Dude, that's crazy. But this basically says he absolutely. This report.
I mean, he fought for slaves and like slave rights, but
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Thanks.
Somebody's still got to do the dishes, though. You know.
I can't even say. I can't even make jokes.
Lucy, can I give you a high five on that one? Oh, fuck those guys. Fuck Alexander Hamilton live on the internet.
On that note, I'm gonna head out.
Good night.
I need to go to sleep too.
Yeah, you might actually be able to get on a normal schedule if you go to bed now.
Yeah, since I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning. I hope you have a great time. When is the Hamilton musical?
It's Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, soon.
Yeah, it's opening night for the play too.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
nice. It's always nice.
She even asked yesterday. She goes, "Are we gonna go see Hamilton?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. The tickets are really hard to get."
Oh, that's great. Anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Welcome
Lucy.
back.
Good to see you.
Well, thank you. This is fun.
Absolutely. We just do this sometimes.
And I learned stuff.
You're a smarter person now.
Jacob, lovely to. Well, I'm not going to say that. Jacob.
You're here.
Kayla, lovely to see you. Thanks everybody for watching.
Good night.
We'll try to do some more entertaining crap later, but I'm tired.